So this video is going to talk about VLOOKUP. This is a very, very powerful tool in Excel. What it does is it looks for a value in the leftmost column. It has to be in the leftmost column of a table, and then returns a value in the same row from a column that you specify. By default, the table has to be sorted in ascending order. We're going to talk about that and the ways to get around that if you don't have your data associated or laid out exactly like that. So let's get started. Alright, so what we have here is some data that I pulled from army.com info, and this is the APFT push-up table. So hey, it's APFT time, and what you want to do is you want to build a tool that allows you to quickly look up some of the APFT scores. Now what I didn't do here is use the extended scale. You notice I just kind of filled this in with 100ths after the max, but if you wanted to go a little further you could actually make this an extended scale, and you'll see exactly what that means a little later. So alright, so how do we do VLOOKUPs? Well, one of the things that I'm going to do to help us with this is I'm going to add a row in here. Alright, so let's go ahead and add a row. We're going to insert, and we're just going to count the columns. 1, 2, and let's just drag this all the way across. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it kind of made this underlined and hyperlinked, so that's going to bother me. There we go. So we have each column highlighted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is going to be important later so that you know exactly what you're trying to, or which column your data is associated with. Alright. So the things that you get. What's the information that you get when you're doing an APFT? Right? So you have the number of reps. And you can see these repetitions are located in this column. This is column B, right? And then you're going to have an age, right? So those are the two inputs that you really need. And that's what you're doing. You're trying to zero in on which one of these numbers is associated with a score that an individual gets. Okay. So how do we zero in on, let's say, this 90 right here? Okay? This is a 90 points. This 90 points. All right, so we know that to get 90 points, our APFT taker has scored 65 reps. He had 65 reps. So we're going to write 65 here. But then we need a way to say, you know what? They are in column where the age is 32 to 36. Well, this is column 5. All right, so let's just look at, let's say column 5 right there. Okay, so let's just look at how do I find 65 reps in column 5? We have this function, it's called VLOOKUP equals VLOOK. And I like to click on it here and then go over to the f of x, the function symbol right here, so that way I can really look at exactly what I'm trying to do. Alright, so the first thing that it's going to do is it's going to ask for a lookup value. And the lookup value is, well, I know what the score was. That's the score, right? That's that column. It's looking for a value in the leftmost column of the table. Well, this is the leftmost column of this table, right? This is the leftmost column of this table. Okay, so the lookup value is going to be this cell. So that way we make it dynamic. We can put whatever number we want in there, and we can move from there. So now it's asking me for the table array. So it wants me to select the entire table that my data is in. Okay, easy enough. I'm going to select this table right here. Select all of it. Okay, so that is my entire table array. And the next thing that it wants is it wants the column index number. So it wants to know which column it wants to know which column is your data in. Well, I know it's in column 5, right, because I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up here. I'm going to show you a better way to do this in a second, but just so you kind of know, I know that my data is in column 5. Now, if your data doesn't move, if it's only one column that you're always pulling from for a specific VLOOKUP, you can hard code this. But what we want to do is we want to make it dynamic, so we can do any age group. All right. Interesting. I can preview this right here. I know that this is what it's going to tell me. This is the number that's going to push out. And that doesn't seem right. Right? 24 is not right. So I'm checking my answers. I said, okay, my reps are 65. Okay, and I know my age column is column 5, so it should intersect. It should intersect right there, and 65. So I know it should be 90, and it's not 90. Remember, originally I said that by default the table must be sorted in ascending order. This table is not sorted in ascending order. It's actually in descending order, right? To switch that, to change that, to find the exact match for 65, we just need to type in false in this box. And there we go. 90 comes out. All right. Now some of you are going to say, you know what, this is really not natural. This is really not natural for me to know what column I'm in. And you know what, you're exactly right. It's not natural. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a little drop-down box that allows you to select instead of type it in. Kind of makes it easier for the user. We're going to paste special. Let's use the transpose function. All right. And there we go. All right. So here we go. And I'm even going to do some format painter so it looks nice. All right. So here we go. So now is there a way so that I can have people select which group they're in? Well, there just happens to be. If you have the developer tool already installed, if you're not, that's a different video. So check how to get the developer tool bar installed. But you go to the developer toolbar. You're going to insert a form control, right? And the form control that you're going to insert is this one. Insert right here. It's going to be a combo box, right? Insert combo box. And I'm just going to insert it right here for the time being, right underneath where I want it to go. All right, you see how it has the little bubbles around here? That means you can edit it. You can right-click on this, format control, and now you're going to look for your input range. I select input range. I'm just going to select this. Now for cell link, this is saying where do you want me to put the output? Once I select one of these things, where do you want the output to go? Well, I want it to go back into, K7, and I want the drop-down lines to be about 8. That's fine. That's good with me. I want 8. When I hit this little arrow, I want it to drop down 8 blocks. You can do more or less. It's fine. You can do 6. Actually, let's do 8. 8's perfect. Alright, so now you see its value because I don't have anything selected. But wait a minute. Alright, so now you can actually ask the person, well, what age group are you in? The original one that we asked for was in age group 5, the 32 to 36. So if we select 32 to 36, 5 packs pops back into this box, and we have 90 that goes back. Right. So and to finish this off, we can take this box and we can slide it right over top. So now anybody can come in and they can say, hey, I'm 70. I did 71 repetitions, right? I'm in age group 20 to 26, and that is 96 points, and that's about right. That looks exactly right. All right. Now, for you who look at this and say, hey, that looks messy, you're absolutely right. It looks messy. the best way to do something like this is to break this down into different sheets. This whole table would be on a different sheet. This table would be on a different sheet, and this may be my range lookup sheet, where all I do is put all the different ranges for all of my different lookup and drop-down boxes. So the only thing that you would see on the main page would be this, with something like push-up score. And then you could do the same thing for sit-ups, and you could do the same thing for runtime, and then just total these. And nobody would have to see all of the mess that you made in the back, and they'd just be, wow, that's a really beautiful sheet. Okay, so that was VLOOKUP. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, we got it from the army.com info APFT pushup table. That's where you can get the information for your documentation. Again, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, that's it.